Hello everyone, my name is Kieran from RedDevilWeekly, but you already know that. Today, obviously, you might have been expecting the season review, and I do apologise if you were expecting the season review. Now, I have been having a few is a bit of an understatement, a lot of technical difficulties, to be honest, and it's been very, very hard, but I did want to stream for you today, and today we are going to be talking about the potential Willian rumours. Now, you know, I'll welcome Daryl. By the way, Daryl was going to be on the season review. Now, obviously, the season review is not going to be happening today. It'll be happening at a later date. But today, I've got my buddy DLM75 on the stream with me, and his link in the description down below. Say hello, pal.
Hello, mate. Welcome. I'm good to see that I'm back on Red Devil Weekly. A bit about the transfer news. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad to have you on the channel. Glad to have you on the channel. But yeah, I know, Daryl. I know you've got some important exams, so you know if you want to go to sleep, by all means, let my soothing tones, you know, help you get to sleep. But yeah, if you are watching, guys, if you know, please do leave a like. If you are watching this more likely as a video after it's uploaded, then please do leave a like and leave your thoughts on the Willian transfer as well. We would love to hear from you. But now, obviously, there's been a lot of reports over really this week about the Willian transfer. Now, this is obviously mainly to do with the fact that Anthony Martial has been linked with a move away from United and hasn't been, you know, yeah, basically. Because of the possible Anthony Martial vacancy, Jose Mourinho reportedly has been looking at Willian as a potential replacement for him. Now, he doesn't have to be a replacement. I think there are circumstances where, you know, Willian won't be the replacement, and we might see Willian alongside Anthony Martial. But for me, I think that's very unlikely. But Willian, he's around 30 years old, and he's one of those players which Jose Mourinho likes. He's worked with him before, and ultimately, you know, Jose Mourinho does seem to go for more experienced players. So, you know, I think this deal could definitely go down. We've seen him bring in the ManUnitedMax, who he's worked with before. But, you know, it'll be an interesting one to see. Welcome BHFC News 07. He says, hey, mate, we have signed Leon Balogun from FC Mainz. Interesting. Brighton doing a bit of transfer news early in the season. But I've got Dan here from DLM75. As I said, his link is in the description down below if you want to go subscribe to his channel. But yeah, mate, what do you think of these Willian rumours? Do you think they've got any substance to them? And would you like to see Willian at Manchester United?
Well, of course, you want to see the best players at United, and you know, Willian is one of the best Premier League people, midfielders, attackers, whatever you want to call Willian in the Premier League, one of the best. So, you know, yeah, the bad bit would be quite good, but you've got to say, he's at that stage where he could be declining right now when he's in that mid-30s rank. You know, when you think, if you're going to pay, how much would Chelsea want to pay, and if they know that Martial's a bit unsettled, would they want to say a bit cheeky and say, oh, well, you know, if you want Willian, could we have a little sniff on Martial? And probably Joe's like, oh, okay then, because you know what Joe's is like. But you know, yeah, okay, I would have Willian, but Joe's mate, I think the squad's a bit too crowded at the moment. When you've got Sanchez, Martial, Lingard, there's too many players who play in the same position. So I don't think it would be a good player to sign. But you know, I wouldn't be, you know, like frustrated to sign him. If you know.
Yeah, no, I think I see where you're coming from there. To be fair, I think, you know, obviously, our squad in terms of attackers and wingers especially is very much crowded. You've got Rashford, Martial, Sanchez, Lingard can play out wide as well. So we've definitely, you know, got a lot of wingers to spare. And, you know, maybe if we were going to bring in another one, I just can't see Jose Mourinho keeping a hold of Anthony Martial. So for me, it's whether you know, Anthony Martial leaving for Willian coming in would be a good decision. And I mean, obviously Martial is only 22 years old, got his whole career ahead of him, really. So I think it would be unfortunate to see Martial leave for someone a bit older to come in. But as you said, you know, we know what Jose Mourinho's like. He does like to favour the kind of more experienced players that he's worked with before to come in. So Yeah, I think that, you know, Willian may be a signing that could happen this year, and it really is a very, very interesting debate whether he would be a good signing for Manchester United, or would it be, you know, again, Jose Mourinho's influence having a negative effect on the team. As I said, if you are watching, please do get your thoughts on the live chat and also in the comment section down below. But I mean, yeah, it's going to be an interesting transfer window. We've already been linked with, you know, players like Toby Alderweireld, again, of a similar age to Willian. And, you know, it does seem like Jose Mourinho does go for the, you know, go for the more experienced players. And I think that's going to be a theme, really. But obviously, you know, Willian to Man United is the kind of headline of the stream. But there are some other transfer rumours that have cropped up over the past few days. Toby Alderweireld to Manchester United is another one. Now, sources, you know, newspaper sources are saying that we are close or in talks with Toby Alderweireld for a deal close to 40 to 50 million pounds. Now, it's, I mean, yeah, I mean, Dan's come straight in with that. I'm going to let you roll with that. Obviously, that kind of sums it up, but you know, the reported fee is around 40 to 50 million pounds. I mean, what are your thoughts on Toby Alderweireld? Do you think he'd be a good signing for that kind of money?
Obviously not, mate. You know, it's the same again. 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds. You know, it's just, it's not good enough. Like, I hate to compare Man United with Man City, but you know, they're spending £50 million, £60 million on not amazing players. Like centre backs, but they're quite young, and you know mid centre backs will be able to improve. And like Laporte's from Athletic Bilbao, £60 million, decent. John Stones, I don't really rate him, but you know, £50 million, he'll end up improving because he's still quite young. And they're signing a lot of players like that, which is good for them. But to see us spend £50 million on a 29-year-old. For about 2 years, 1 year at his very best, it's not good enough. So it's just not good. So you know, why can we not try and find another good defender like we did last year or the other year with Eric Bailly for £30 million? Why can we not spend that kind of money? Because you do see them very good players who do not really get a snitch at these big clubs when they deserve it. So you know, you could try and go to a league where no one knows who the heck this guy is, but when it comes to United, he could be an absolute beast for a player, and we could end up getting this random guy for an absolute bargain. But now, Joe Mourinho is going for the easy target and trying to go for Alderweireld for £50 million. It's not right.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, the age does matter in football, and obviously, you know, Alderweireld being 29, you know, I mean, I guess one of the big things is the fact that, you know, when Jose Mourinho leaves Manchester United, you know,
they'll leave a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we're going to be left with a lot of old players who are going to be declining in some way. So,
I have to rebuild again.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's not going to help the team, and as you said, you know, it could be damaging long term. But welcome, Mr. Money Gaming, well to stream. How are you doing, guys? If you are watching, please leave a like as well. Why so late? Yeah, I had a lot of technical difficulties. I was originally going to do the season review, as you know, Mr. Money Gaming, but it went wrong in the end, and I'm going to have to reschedule it for a different date. So, yeah, it will be probably during this week at some point, so please do stay tuned for that. But yes, obviously I'm in a different studio and everything like that. You can tell there's a bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get everything back to normal by, you know, tomorrow, if I do a stream tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, just back on the Alderweireld thing, DLM. Obviously you said that, you know, we should be looking at possible other options. Is there any you could identify as ones you'd love to bring in?
There's quite a lot of people, and people might say, are you okay on drugs right now? But I think Harry Maguire would be a decent option.
Maguire from Leicester. I mean, that's an it's an interesting one. I wouldn't have gone for him straight away, but I think it definitely is an interesting one.
Yeah, and you know, we've got there's so many good centre backs out there. Like I said, do not get a snitch at these top clubs when they deserve it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. There are players out there who don't get the opportunities they deserve, and I think at a bigger club with better players around them, they could really flourish. BHFC News says, I'm back, I need to do something. Well, welcome back to the stream, mate. But yeah, so obviously leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, or in the live chat as well, what you're thinking of the transfer rumours that we are discussing right now. But, you know, obviously it is very early. The transfer window only opened a few days ago now, so ultimately it's still very early doors in the transfer window. But you would like to think that Manchester United are doing their business early, and we go from one Brazilian in Willian to another Brazilian in Alexandro, and that deal, also according to various reports, although I'm not sure how valid these reports are, according to various newspapers and reports, you know, Alexandro does seem like a top target for Manchester United this summer. Now, obviously, he is 26 years old, and he's a bit younger than some of the players that we've mentioned already on the stream. But I want to get your opinion on this, Dan. What are your thoughts on Alexandro coming to United? Do you think that it might be unfair on Luke Shaw if Alexandro comes in? Or do you think it'd be the right decision from Jose Mourinho to bring in someone like Alexandro?
In my opinion, it's always good and bad, you know. I watch Mark Goldbridge today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's saying this, one of the guys in the comments below, it's disgusting, these United fans saying, oh, I just saw Luke Shaw in the kebab shop. Like, just, you should be supporting your players, not, you know, disheartening them and just making them feel unconfident in themselves. And that's how you destroyed your top players. And it's just disgusting that seems, I saw Luke Shaw in the kebab shop when he just didn't. And it's just not right. And now they're calling Paul Pogba, okay, he's not been the best this season, but we all know that he's a top player. Calling Martial, just call every single person, that's not good enough. And yeah, I think Luke Shaw's a top quality player. That's why I bought him from Southampton for £30 million. And that's why Spurs want him now, because he's top quality. And, you know, I wish I was manager at Man United now, because I know that I would work to get the very best out of Luke Shaw, but like Matt Goldbridge said, we have to just live with it and say we don't want to see Luke Shaw suffer. We don't want to see Anthony Martial suffer their careers and just destroy their careers. We want to see their best to make their career much the best and the best. So it's probably the right decision to just let him offload to different clubs such as Tottenham and just feel depressed for the rest of his time of his career, like me, because I've been starting to be depressed when Martial goes and with Josie out, as you do know. But yeah, it's probably best if he just goes. And yeah, it's pretty decent as a replacement. Sandro, we always know that Josie wants a Brazilian on the squad. And, you know, apparently some Juventus podcast the other day, like Matt Goldbridge said again, just trying to see a bit of quote from him, saying that the Juventus fans saying that they want to get rid of him anyway, Sandro. Does that mean because he's crap? Does that mean because he's not good enough for the Serie A, or is it because he just doesn't want to play for the club and he wants to move on? But, you know, it could be that. And if that's okay, you don't really want to have that at United. If he doesn't get his own way, you don't want to play, and he's going to have bad performances. You don't want that United. You always want your players to have 100% performance, no matter if they're feeling bad, down, or whatever. So yeah, it might be a good signing, but you know, is that good enough for United? I don't know.
Yeah, and it definitely is hard to know, to be honest. I'd say, because you know, obviously we don't, you know, if we're honest to ourselves, we don't really see too much of. I haven't seen too much of Alexandro play really, and yeah, I mean, obviously it's a good point that, you know, the Juventus fans, you know, if they want him out, does that mean he's kind of a deadwood player to them? And we've got enough finances. We're a big enough club to not have other teams cast-offs. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, you make a good point as well about the fact that, you know, there's no point in slating our own players. I mean, you know, leave that to rival fans to do. We need to, you know, support our own players, and saying all this stuff, you know, just based on a few bad performances is, you know, absolutely ludicrous. You know, what is it actually going to do to those players? It's not going to help them in any way. So, you know, what is the point? But yeah, again, I think, I mean, for me, I think Alexandro would be, you know, if Jose Mourinho truly, you know, wants to get rid of Luke Shaw, I think that, you know, in some ways you could say, you know, let him do it, bring in Alex Sandro, and if he doesn't, if he fails, then Jose Mourinho's got nowhere to hide. If he doesn't succeed next season, because he would have brought in all the players that he wanted, and he would have, you know, he's got nowhere to hide, no excuses. But I think Alex Sandro, out of all the ones that we've mentioned, I think Alex Sandro would be one of the best options to bring in, just because he's not an old crock like Willian or Alderweireld are. But yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on.
Kieran, what would you get Sandro and maybe put Luke Shaw on loan?
It's an interesting proposition, actually, because for Luke Shaw's career, I think it would be more beneficial if he got game time. So maybe I do think Luke Shaw, I'm not sure what club he would go to on loan. Maybe like a kind of mid-table Premier League club, because I think he's a very, very good player. So I think, I think maybe that is a shout, actually, but possibly putting Luke Shaw on loan to make sure his career doesn't stagnate. And yeah, if we were to bring in Alex Sandro, I think it would be kind of unfair to keep Shaw captive almost at the club. But yeah, I think that's my thoughts on Alex Sandro, really. If you want to leave your thoughts on Alex Sandro, leave them in the comment section down below, as always. But I mean, obviously we've talked a bit about the players that, you know, players that potentially are going to be coming into United. Just as kind of, you know, something to finish on. Obviously, you know, we can talk all day about the potentials people linked with Manchester United. There's going to be so many people linked with Manchester United over this transfer window. But the players who many would consider deadwood players that, you know, have had their opportunity and need to leave the club. I'm going to come to you, Dan, on this one. Is there any players who you think has served their time, had their chance, and we need to get rid of them to bring through some new blood into the club?
You know me, I don't really like to slate people until I actually know that they've got no chance of improving and they're just absolutely garbage. And one of the players that, you know, I've always slated is Chris Smalling. He's a very, very good player, and I do not want him to leave because I think he's a good player. So yeah, I'll keep him. But he's always one that other player who made that horrible mistake in the FA Cup final. We all knew that is Phil Jones. He's a good player. He's not a bad player. Obviously, that's why Alex Ferguson brought him into the club. But you know, he's just injury prone. You can't have that at a big club like United. You know, when you got these important games, you cannot constantly have your players injured. So I think Phil Jones has to go, and Blint, Darmian have to go. Maybe sometimes Lingard has to go. Sometimes I don't like him. You know, is there any players about you?
I mean, you know, I think I'd have to reiterate, you know, Blind and Darmian, definitely. I think they have had, you know, obviously they brought in under Louis van Gaal in, I think his first and second season respectively, and I think they've had a lot of chances, and to me, they haven't had a performance in a Manchester United shirt where I've kind of been able to say, you know, well, you know, you've got man of the match, or you've been an absolutely fantastic player in that game. I've not seen a kind of amazing performance from them. Welcome Billy T, welcome to the stream. He says Sal, Jones and Smalling. So he agrees with you, DLM, on the fact selling Jones, but he also puts Smalling in there. But DLM, obviously you disagree with that.
Yeah, I do disagree, mate, because you know, Smalling's a much better player than Jones. You know, Jones gives me heart attacks when I'm watching United. How many heart attacks he gives me on Saturday, unreal. But Smalling, I think I feel a bit more comfortable with Smalling. You know, plus he's not in injury prone. He rarely gets injured these days. I mean, and another thing, what's good about his game, he scores goals. You know, he scores important goals, such as that Man City game at the Etihad. Not the Etihad. and also the Bournemouth match. So it was still an important 3 points for both for them. But it's 2,000. You know, if you want to win the league, you need goals. It's not just from the strikers, not just from your midfielders. Also, your defenders. So I will keep Chris Smalling.
Yeah, I think, you know, he does provide a goal threat, definitely. I have scored some vital goals as well, and I think Chris Smalling, you know, he has. I think out of him and Jones, he's definitely been better than Jones in my opinion. But they both have had their bad moments this season. I just want to say welcome. Oh yeah. Welcome, Josh Cosgrave. Welcome to the stream, by the way. He says doing exams hard to make the streams. Remember me, 50th sub. There you go. Yeah, OG fan of the streams. 50th sub. Yeah, I appreciate support from, you know, Josh and everyone as well on the stream as well. And also, if you are watching and haven't already, I don't know why not, go and subscribe to DLM75. Link in the description down below.
You won't regret, guys. You won't regret.
Exactly. I concur. I definitely concur. Billy T says Smalling is terrible. I mean, yeah, I think that's a bit harsh for me, but I think that ultimately he has had his bad moments this season. But I think that I still think that if I was going to keep one out of Jones and Smalling, I'd probably keep Smalling. But in an ideal world, I'd probably have Eric Bailly and then another centre back next to him as our best two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that in my ideal world I'd have that. Josh says I'd only sell Smalling, Blind, Darmian and give Fossey Mensah the right back role after Tony V is gone. Actually, obviously, you know, Fossey Mensah is an interesting one because he is coming back from loan as well as Andres Pereira. So we've got a few young players coming back from loan, so it's going to be interesting to see how we integrate them into the squad next season. Welcome, Indy. Welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. And Billy says Smalling is terrible positionally and bringing out from the back. Been at the club long enough. He has had a lot of chances. He obviously got brought into the club in the 2011-12 season, I do believe. But I think he has had the longest time out of, you know, him and Jones. So yeah, he has been at the club long enough. But I think maybe, as I said, he would not be my first choice centre back. But I don't know. We've got two questions here from the guys. If you have any questions for me or for me and Dan here. Then please do leave them in the live chat. We'll answer them here. Indy says Smalling worries me every time he's on the ball. Yeah, he is a bit of spaghetti legs. I used to call him that, but yeah, he's not exactly a ball player, as Billy said. Billy's question first is, what are your thoughts on Victor Lindelof? I'll go straight to Dan. What are your thoughts on Victor Lindelof?
It's been a very, very decent signing. You know, yes, again, Man United fans straight on his back, come to the biggest club in the world, straight on his back, Huddersfield game, absolutely atrocious, selling. I'm like, please don't. He's a good player. I mean, he's from Benfica, for where I say. He's not from Blackburn Rovers. You know, he's a top left centre back, very good. And you know, just give him time, give him time. And since I've been watching Man United, his performance has been improving. You know. Yeah, okay, Huddersfield, his first game. That's the reason why he played crap. Now he's improving, more consistent, and that's what you want from Lindelof. You know, he's 24 years old. He will only get better. He won't decline. So, like, out of zero, he's going to actually play £50 million. So, really, if I had my choice, I would play Lindelof and Eric Bailly. So he's had a good season, I think, and I just can't wait to see him in that Man United shirt next season. But there have been links saying that he's going to go on Wolves next season on loan. So I don't know.
I think that's an interesting point. Obviously, we have been talking about possible replacement centre-backs or like a new centre-back bringing in, but maybe, you know, Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, you know, to play them next to each other. They might complement their styles might complement each other, and obviously the fact that we spent 30 million or around 30 million on both of them, you know, so I think we do need to start seeing Lindelof more often, because I do think he's had a decent start considering the actual appearances he's had. So I think, you know, obviously as Indy's just said there, he's a young talent, and you know, he's still got a lot of time to progress, and him and Bailly next to each other, both very young, both quite young players, so we could create a bit of a dynasty of a centre-back partnership going forward. I'm going to read a few more of the comments before I get back to Josh's question. Don't worry, I see you, Josh. Indy says, oh no, I've read that one out. Sorry, Indy. Billy says, Fosu Mensah needs a chance at right back. Has great potential. I agree. I think Fosu Mensah would be a great replacement for Antonio Valencia. Had Leroy Sané in his pocket, so, you know, and he's only, what, I'm not sure what age he is, but he's quite young still, so fair play to him. BHFC News says, Andone is close to signing for us, but the deal is being sorted. Obviously, you mentioned that in a previous stream, and, you know, obviously Brighton do seem to be doing a bit of early transfers, so that is going to be interesting to see from Brighton. Josh says, I think Lindelof is a great player in the making. Really thought he should have started in the final. I mean, I think he would have been better than Jones. Let's be honest, I think he would have been better than Jones, and I think he deserved more chances this season. Billy says, I agree, Lindelof is good, but why does Jose play him on the bench? He needs a consecutive run of games. I have to agree with that. I think, you know, when you're a young player, you do need a consecutive run of games. You need, you know, time on the pitch to develop and learn, and he didn't really get that this season, so hopefully next season we can see that. Indy says, I love Lindelof. He's still young and adapting. Him and Bai centre-back pairing, yes. And obviously, you know, me and Dan seem to concur on that one as well. Josh says, can the boy Marcus Rashford move to the right mid where he played as an early teen and leave Martial Sanchez on the left mid position? We'll go back to your first question, mate, before we get back to that. But as I said, please keep leaving your thoughts in the live chat. And also, leave a like on the stream if you are enjoying it. And subscribe to DLM75 in the description down below if you like what you hear. So, his question, Josh, his first question was, what midfielders should be sold? Now, obviously, we have got a few midfielders. We know that Michael Carrick is leaving the squad. And there has been a lot of talk about Marouane Fellaini's future, potentially going to AC Milan or Turkey, somewhere like that. So, what midfielders do you think, if any, should be sold? Because I don't think we have too many midfielders, really. But, what out of the midfielders that we have, Dan, what midfielders would you think about getting rid of?
When you say midfielders, though, do you count them as centre attacking midfielders as well, or just like centre mids, or what?
I think we can, yeah. I think we can count that, yeah.
It's really hard. It's really hard to say. It's just, I don't know. If we're going to sell them, we need to replace them. That's the end of. You know, a lot of people say Fellaini is one of the worst players on the pitch. Okay, he's one of the worst, but you know, he scores goals. You know, we didn't get that 3 points because of Rashford. We got that 3 points because Fellaini came off the bench and scored that winning goal. So that's why we got 3 points. You know, he's not the worst of players, but he scores goals, which is important. So yeah, I don't know about Fellaini. I'd probably still get rid of him, you know, to get a better replacement in. But you know, at the moment, probably have to keep Fellaini. When you say that, you have to probably say, oh, you're a mid-table side now. But yeah, Matic, probably, obviously, going to keep Matic, you know, Jones and Wilson. McTominay, I think I'll put him on loan, to be honest with you, McTominay. Pereira from Valencia, very good player. I would like to see him on the bench 24. I would like to see him on the bench, going off the bench at United next season. Probably not going to happen with Jose, but you know. I can't remember any. I can't remember any other midfielders we got at United now. What other midfielders got? We got so many attackers. We haven't got any midfielders. That's all we got.
I think that is the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. Like I mean, it's talking about like possibly getting rid of midfielders, but we actually got a lot of. We haven't got that many kind of, you know, central attacking midfielders really. We've got quite a few kind of attackers, as you said, but we don't have that many midfielders to lose. So I think I don't know. I mean, Billy.
I'll keep Pogba.
Yeah, keep Pogba.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. I 100% agree. You know, and I think that's a good point that you raised there. I think a lot of people have been, you know, a few people anyway, have been saying that Pogba hasn't really been performing to his best, and we need to offload him for a decent sum of cash. But I think he's still got a lot to offer. He definitely has a lot to offer, and he is one of those players who, when he plays well, you know, we look absolutely unstoppable. So
the problem is about Paul Pogba. Yeah, he's that. It's not his fault. It's the club's fault. It's the manager's fault. We put too much pressure on him. Okay, this came with a 90 million price tag, but we just rely on him for goals and assists and everything. And he's the one, we get more points when he's playing, and that puts more pressure into him, saying, "Oh, you got to perform today because we're not going to get 3 points if you don't perform." And that's when he starts, getting a bit weird. He gets a bit unconfident. And Juventus, they always not relying on him, and when they don't rely on him, you get the best out of him. France, you don't really rely on him because you got Kante doing the work, you got Pogba doing the work, but you've got other midfielders doing the work in that France role, and that's when you get the best of him. United, we're relying on him. We're relying on him like a one-man team when we've got Pogba in the team, because we're just making him like pressured all the time, and people say when he's not playing well, "Oh, get rid of him! Oh, get rid of him!" And they say 2 weeks after that, they see him in the France squad, "Oh, he's got a free kick," and one says, "Oh, I wish I never said that again. Oh, I want to keep him in the club forever." Like, make your mind up. He's a top player. We just need to put less pressure on this kid, because if you do, you get the best performance out of him. And sometimes I wish that we did not have Jose Mourinho at the club, because he doesn't get the best out of Jose. And he's just playing in the wrong position, playing as a defensive midfielder when he's not. And I feel like if we had the chance in the team, in the manager at ManUnited, it would be the best midfielder in the Premier League, not Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I know. I definitely think that that's. I mean, Indy's way in there says that's one problem with our fans. I think you have to agree. Obviously, as you've said, I don't like slaying the fan base, but I think that is a problem that after a few bad games, everyone's getting on the back of a player, and then ultimately they change their opinion as soon as they do something amazing. So. Matthew Coyle is also a fan of you, mate. He says this guy talks sense. So if you want to go and see Dan talk some more sense, subscribe to his channel in the description down below. It's a no-brainer. Let's see a few of your comments. Billy says Fellaini needs to go, possibly Mata, although I like him as a player. Just feel we need proper wingers. Interesting there. To be honest, when I see Juan Mata playing on the right, he's a very good technical player. I just don't think he's quick enough to be on the wing. He doesn't offer a kind of, if you talk about the Man United way, you talk about really fast wingers that bomb on and create a lot of chances. And Mata, for me, isn't that. I think he's much better in a number 10 position. So Josh says, would you take Fred or Milinkovic-Savic? I'd like Fred to join, as Savic is starting to play second striker like Dele Alli. Well, that's a very, very good topic of debate. If we are still on the topic of transfers, which we'll get to in just a minute. Billy says, just feel like he's wasted on the wing. Jose won't play him at number 10. Yeah, obviously going back to the Juan Mata comment he made, I think Mata is definitely wasted on the wing because he doesn't have the pace anymore. He doesn't really have the pace anymore that he used to, and I think he's much better in the middle, creating things for our players going forward. As I said, guys, I'll take this opportunity to say if you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, back to Josh's question, asking some very, very good questions. Josh is tonight on the stream, and I appreciate obviously as you are doing exams, to take some time out and to watch the stream. I really appreciate it. He says, obviously we've seen it, he says, would you take Fred or Milinkovic-Savic? I'm going to hand that over straight to you, my friend. Obviously you've heard the rumours about Fred and Milinkovic-Savic coming to United. Which one do you think would be best suited to United? Which one do you think would be best suited to Manchester United?
Well, obviously both will be suited to United, but saying again, you have to think Jose, not you. And to think Jose's got a Jose brain, like I have to, because when you talk about United, you have to go for Milinkovic-Savic, or whatever he's called, because he's tall. Well, I'll tell you what now, if we get him, you've got to play him. I watched him the other night, wasn't it, against Inter Milan. They did lose the game 3-2. But he's an absolute beast of a player, and he was winning that midfield. Imagine him with Paul Pogba, for Christ's sake, man. Massive. okay, it's a bit lanky in the midfield, but that's what Jose Mourinho likes. You know, £80 million, £90 million, yeah, oh, not good to be in that because I told you now, we need to spend our money wisely, like Man City, Chelsea, whatever you want to call it. We can't just spend like £90 million on one player and then we'll put pressure on the player. That's what happens to Pogba now. That's why he's got ruined a bit. So, you know, yeah, I would like Milovic-Savic, but in saying that, you would like Fred because he offers something different. He's small and he's like, I'm not comparing him to Messi, okay, but these small players can move quite fast and, you know, if he can, he's quite skillful. And John Mourinho saying in the press and whatever, he wants to sign a Brazilian transfer window, so he'd be quite good for Man United, and he's quite pacey, skillful, like which what I like to see at Man United, a bit of enjoyment in the midfield instead of this boring sideways football. And you know, I don't know. It's a really hard question. It's a really hard question. Who would I have? Who would I have? I don't know. They're both amazing players. You know, you said Fred £45 million, you're probably getting Savage getting about 80. So I don't know. But who would you have given? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I definitely agree. I think that, I mean, very, very good points, I would say, because, you know, with Milinkovic-Savic possibly coming to United, he offers much more of a physical presence than Fred, but I think Fred on the ball in terms of skillfully might just be a bit better. So it's 50-50 really. Let's see what the comments have to say because it is your show. Billy says Savage would be an excellent addition to the squad. Indy says Savage is a great player, but I feel he would struggle in his first season. I think obviously both Fred and Savage both coming from different leagues, which don't have the same intensity as the Premier League. You could argue. So it'd be interesting to see whether they would, how they would get on, really. Josh Cosgrave said, I prefer Fred. His transition from defence and attack is unbelievable. Yeah, I think, obviously, we do need that. I think because we have, I mean, especially in the kind of latter stages of the season, we've been very, very stagnated and slow in our build-up play. And it would be brilliant if we got someone in like Fred, who was able to kind of, who was able to kind of change defence into attack really quickly. Matthew Jones has joined us. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Long time no see, my friend. Obviously, because I'm doing this stream a bit earlier, and because he lives in America, maybe he's been able to see, but watch the streams, which is absolutely fantastic. And thank you very much for joining, Matthew. Really appreciate it. He says he's Jose in, and the big question from Billy: are you Jose in or Jose out? Indy says Jose in. Josh says give him 2 years, then I prefer youth developing manager. Obviously, Jose Mourinho doesn't really develop the youth too much, as we've seen. Billy says, very true, Josh. Fred is very good technically, quality, passer and quick. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen much of Fred. I'll have to look him up because I'm going to confess, I haven't seen much of him, but you know what I have heard of him is very, very positive. Indy says, I agree, players with a lower centre of gravity are good at dribbling than taller people. Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, I think DLM, what he said there was actually very good. Like the fact that Jose Mourinho does go for the kind of bigger, taller players like Milinkovic-Savic. He's, like Milinkovic-Savic, like a Matic. He goes for these big, tall players. And, you know, if Milinkovic-Savic came into the team, he would definitely start every week. But with Fred, I'm not sure about that. Billy says, style of football needs to improve. Transition of the ball from back to front needs to improve to be quicker. Yeah, I totally agree. And Matthew says he is Jose in. So I think the majority of people in the chat right now say Jose in. My opinion on it is, yeah, I'm definitely Jose in. If you've watched my streams, I've always said I'm Jose in. I think, you know, we need to give him another season. He's getting another season regardless. So if you are Jose out and you're moaning about it, I don't know why, because you know, it's not going to change anything. He will be here for next season. But, you know, I think we need to give him another year. I think, you know, we should let him bring in the players that he wants to bring in so that he will be responsible if we're unsuccessful. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I think we are building something in Manchester United. It'll be interesting to see how we go in our third season. And I still genuinely think that we can win the league next year. Welcome, Nesta and G. Thanks for joining. If you haven't already, guys, please leave a like as well. And subscribe to DLM75 in the description down below. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts? Jose in or Jose out?
I've told you, mate. I've told you. If he doesn't get rid of the right players, if he gets rid of the wrong players, then you Josie out. But I don't know, man. I'm still a Josie in, slightly Josie in, but the way he's treating his top players, and he's just how he's favourites in the club, and he's playing this horrible football, you have to Josie out. But then he goes and just says, "Oh, I'm on holidays now, I'm on retirement, whatever." Then he just destroyed the club because the squad scored 35-year-olds after when he got the leaves. So I don't know, man. It's 50-50 still at the moment. It's still 50-50.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, to be honest, I think the fan base is the same. If you look on Twitter, I think a lot of fans don't know what to make of it. And I do think it's a good point that you made there about the, the fact that, Jose Mourinho's a top. God, my words being. Anyway, Jose Mourinho's treatment of some of the top players at the club, and I think that is true. We've seen it with Pogba, we've seen it with Martial, Rashford. Some of these players were absolutely fantastic in Louis van Gaal's last season and Jose Mourinho's first season, but this season they just haven't been living up to expectations. And a lot of people use the example of Anthony Martial saying Jose Mourinho ruined him, and the fact that he didn't get into the French World Cup squad. And yeah, I think that is something we need to watch out for, to be honest. But I think it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the course of next season. Nesta's just said that he is Jose Mourinho in, so I think definitely that is the majority of people in the stream. In fact, everyone in the stream is still Jose in for the time being anyway. Billy says, is Talisca any use? Haven't seen much of him linked to United. Yeah, Talisca is someone we have talked about a bit way back on the show, and I've seen a bit of him. He's similar to Milinkovic-Savic in the way he plays. I think he's around 6'1", and again he's similar in the way he can. He's a player who scores goals, and he can turn defence into attack as well. So he's one of those players who I think is a bit more mobile than someone like ManUnitedMax, and is more similar to Paul Pogba than anyone else. But I don't know, guys. It's very interesting. Talisca, coming from the Turkish league, would he be good enough? I don't know. Indy says, when Jose goes, I can see us turning into a Spurs. Obviously, Jose Mourinho, one of the biggest arguments for him staying is the fact that he is a born winner, and Spurs have the problem of they're playing very good football, but they don't really win too much. So, yeah, I mean, we don't can see. I hope we do not turn into a Spurs. Just as kind of a final point, because we are going to have to go quite soon. We've been on for nearly 45 minutes, which is very impressive, and I do appreciate everyone who has been tuning in. But yeah, leave your thoughts on Talisca in the live chat. I'm going to go to Dan on this one. I'm not sure if you have seen Talisca, but if you have, what are your thoughts on potentially bringing him into United? Do you think he would be a good signing?
I haven't got a clue, this guy. I haven't got a clue. All what I know about him is I'm on at Besiktas at a very poor league, Besiktas, and if you get him, Talisca, is it going to be a player like Memphis Depay, who bossed the Dutch league, who's now sort of bossing the French league? Is Talisca the same guy who's bossing it in a poor league and then watching now in one of the best leagues in the world? He's absolutely a flop. So in my opinion, do not risk it. Do not risk it.
I think that's a very sensible point of view, to be honest. I think, obviously, I think you'd be lying to yourself as a Man United fan if you knew loads about Talisca, unless obviously you watched the Turkish league. But I mean, again, I don't know too much about him. It's similar to Milinkovic, Savic and Fred. Like, the fact I haven't watched much of them, but I've heard good reviews about them, and that's sort of what I'm going off. But I don't know. I think he would be risky for me. I think he would be a risky option. You know, Milinkovic, Savic has done very, very well this season, and you know, the Serie A this season has been much more competitive than it was last season. So ultimately, I think he would be less of a risk than someone like Talisca. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the summer transfer window. We'll be linked to everyone, and my advice would be, don't listen to everything that you read. But on the channel, we'll try and keep you abreast of all the transfer news, as well as on DLM's channel, of course. And if you want to go subscribe to it, link in the description down below. I really would recommend it. Billy T says Spurs are bottlers, and I think that is where we're going to end the stream on a very, very true, you know, what's the saying? What's that saying? Never a true word spoken. There you go. Spurs are bottlers. We're going to end the stream on that note. Thank you very much to everyone that's been watching tonight. Obviously, it is coming up to 11 o'clock, and it is, you know, it is a stream that's a bit later than usual, and I do appreciate everyone, you know, who has been watching the stream tonight and is watching the stream as it has uploaded the video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything me and Dan have been talking about in the stream. As I already said, go and check out DLM's channel in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in a bit.